We are so excited about tonight. We are talking about seasonal decorating, and not only do we love doing it and we get a lot of pleasure out of it, but we love it even because we get to make money with this great service. We have had, well, JoAnne, I would say this has been our most inquired topic. We always put out to you guys, let us know what you want to learn about, what, at all levels, whether it's DIY or professional. And seasonal decorating, holiday decorating has been a chart topper. So we are doing another webinar so that you can get all the information we have to share. So just a really brief reminder, last month we started a WOW series, a what's wrong, throwing out some options, different price points, different ways that you can solve maybe what's wrong. And then, but the goal is to end up with some WOW worthy rooms. So we're keeping that same concept tonight, but we're going to like shift it to seasonal decorating.
Yeah, while we're the rooms and while we're the profits.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. So I'm Sandra Racz. If you're new, we've been at this a long time, JoAnne a little bit longer than me, and we love training and instructing and helping students start a business or help them in any way we can. We have our own clients, but we are a part of the DSA. JoAnne started the DSA years ago, and I'm kind of in charge a little bit right now.
A lot. You're in charge a lot.
Oh my gosh, it's a team effort. And with me tonight is JoAnne Lenart-Weary, and I'm sure you've all heard of her.
Hi, everybody. Delighted to be here and look forward to sharing some ideas and some creativity with you. I'm just taking Layla. I just left you a message about an hour ago. Welcome. I see some new names this month. So we're delighted that you're here and we look forward to sharing with you. And please bring on your questions. So whether you already have a business or you want to turn your talent into a business, if you are one of those people that everyone says, oh my gosh, your house is so pretty, you should do this for a living, and you're terrified to do that, holiday decorating or seasonal decorating, event planning, those are a great place for you to jump in. You can start with that and expand, or if you already have a business, this should be an add-on to your existing business. For me, all the years that I was in business, the first almost 30 years of my business, holiday decorating was about 25% of my overall income each year. And then when I started traveling so much to teach, I gave it up for the most part. I still have a few clients that I do, but I'm telling you, there is great money in this, and it just feeds the soul.
And that's a good point, JoAnne, because we have over the years taken surveys. If you are in seasonal decorating, and surprisingly, even if you don't necessarily have that listed as one of your services, your clients know, like, and trust you, you end up doing seasonal decorating anyway. And 25% across the board over these years has been the number, that ratio of how much that was income in your business.
So let's talk about our WOW approach to seasonal decorating. So first of all, let's talk about what's wrong. What can possibly be wrong? And first of all is the cost. Sometimes this can be a costly manner. So that's why you need to be able to know when to dupe it, when to DIY it, and when to spend the big bucks on it. And then also your creativity. And Sandra and I hope we're sharing some creative ideas with you tonight, but you need to use your own home as your decorating lab. Try new ideas, experiment, try different things. My mantra always has been, if I can get them to say, excuse me, get them to say, I never would have thought of that, and be smiling when they're saying it and not crying, then I've done a good job. And that's what I've said to my students all over the years. Every time we would do a project, it's wait for the client to say it. If the client says, "Oh, I never would have thought of that," it's like, you nailed it. So the next thing is inspiration. Well, I already talked about inspiration, but marketing. I didn't talk about inspiration. I talked about creativity. So inspiration is everywhere. We want you looking at things, pouring through pictures, getting industry magazines. If you're not already subscribed to things like Accents Today, gift and decorative accessories. Those are industry journals that you want to be getting. And then, of course, looking online. When Sandra and I were first offering holiday decorating, we didn't have this whole mass at our fingertips. It all had to come up here. And it's amazing. I still have any brains left at 73. But now you have so much in front of you. And again, put it into action. If you see an idea, experiment with it. Marketing, this is a fast and furious season. So you want to start marketing now. You want to start marketing now so that you can get those clients from the early November all the way through. I remember, I can remember doing houses on December 23rd and the morning of the 24th. So have a plan and implement it. And then the other thing that is often wrong is you don't have enough inventory. Now, if you go into it and offer it this year, you're going to be dependent on retail inventory to add to what the client already has. But moving forward, if this is a service you want to do, then you want to try hitting some trade shows, because you can order products. So next year you can make money not only on your labor and your time, but also on products. So you want to have that mix and match of wholesale and retail.
And two, one of the things that I asked a client, we were decorating for another season, not this holiday season, like, okay, what do you think the biggest challenge is, with how you can accomplish this? And her answer was time, which, as we are talking about even coming up with ideas and being creative, I mean, let's face it, you can go down a tic-tac rabbit hole, uh, TikTok rabbit. Oh yeah, that too. You can go down, Instagram or any of those, and pretty soon
Yeah,
you have no time left. And like
right.
JoAnne is saying, we're doing good to decorate our own houses for the holidays because we're decorating other people's, but just be very clear with how much time you want to devote to each. Once you get a plan, stick to it, is what I'm trying to say.
And Sandra, let me add one more point real quickly. When we talked about creativity, I want you to understand your client's level of creativity, and what she would be happy with is nowhere near your creativity. So you're going to have some clients that, man, you want to hit it out of the ballpark, but you're going to have other clients that you're going to use an idea that may seem old to you, but seems new and fresh to them. So read the room, understand where is your client at. You want to delight them and not terrify them.
Good point.
The important thing you need to know about seasonal decorating, it is much more than this last quarter. However, this last quarter has the most profit potential if you work smart.
Exactly. This is what I love too, when you were talking about mixing and matching. We now have at our fingertips more than we've ever had between,
Mhm.
at home, Hobby Lobby. The retail market has helped us be able to, put those filler pieces in. But let's face it, our clients love some of those keepsake pieces. I was just saying before we got on the webinar tonight, I still use these iridescent, they're sprigs, they look like holly berries, but they're white. I just love them. There is something about using them, but my tree never looks the same. But being able to implement what your client has. JoAnne talked about wholesale versus retail. The beauty, of course, of wholesale is you're going to make more money with your markup. but at the same time, you're going to be able to introduce things that haven't hit the market yet. And those are the things that kind of add value to what you're bringing to the mantle, the tree, to whatever element. And just being able to know how to make any element cohesive. Those cohesive looks make a difference in that overall balance of the space. And I can't tell you how exciting it is to think about seasonal decorating and what it can add for you in your business. Like you, JoAnne, just said, even if this you're only focused on this upcoming season, but between graduations in spring and, coastal elements, the region of the country, there's so many ways to decorate for the season, not to mention, the typical mantle trees, porches, but some of those unexpected places that you may be asked to decorate. Anything else you need to add to that one, Joanne?
No.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
good.
So
Oh,
why is this in demand? I mean, bottom line is, as Sandra mentioned, people simply don't have the time or the creativity. They want a pretty house. They want the kids to be excited. They want family to love it. But they just don't have the time or the energy or the creativity. Also, there's a lot of people that may need something like this for business marketing. Think of that market for your business as well. Special events, fundraisers, open houses. There's so much more than decorating a Christmas tree. Um, uh, there's so many options. Also, you're a problem solver, and so people are willing to pay for that, and they crave that look of a finished, pulled together room, but they simply don't have the bandwidth to do it themselves. I always tell people, people say, "Oh, I wish I could do what you did." I said, God's made sure we all have job security, because, I couldn't write an Excel spreadsheet to save my life, but by God, I could make it look pretty. So, this is the beauty of the world, is we all have different talents.
and just coming into the room with a system, it's you just when they
Yes.
sit back and watch you, like, oh my gosh, that would have taken me, six times the amount of time. But they have distractions, and you're there with a very systematic approach to whatever you are called, what you're hired to.
So the beauty of this service, like anything that you're doing, this is your business. So you can determine how big or small you want this to be. When I first started my holiday decorating, I did trees and mantles. That was all that I did. And then every year I would expand. So again, you don't have to offer every service. I also encourage you to partner with local businesses. I am never going to be stringing Christmas lights on a ladder. It simply is not going to happen. So find other businesses that can fill the void of the jobs that you don't want to do, but you are in control here.
And getting back to what we were saying, using what you have to get clarity for your clients, do they want what's their style? What are they thinking that the product's going to end up? Just making sure there's some real clear expectations, red and green. Are we talking like a different variety, saturation hue kind of thing of the red and green, or it's the traditional? So in the beginning, we had idea books, and we would open it up. So I had some florals very similar to this. Oh, if and my clients marry, my clients always marry. So I would want to know, okay, Mary, are you thinking like a traditional Thanksgiving table with these kind of arrangements? Are you thinking, and then I'd have the extreme. So, and JoAnne, did you make these with AI?
Absolutely. These are AI generated pictures.
I thought that was a good point.
So let's talk about the profit potential to this. First of all, there is your inventory plus a 25% markup as a minimum. If you're buying retail, you should be marking that retail up 25%. You took the time to go get it. Now that doesn't, you're still charging for your time, But mark up that inventory. If you are buying wholesale, then you should be at the minimum is doubling that price. And in many cases, it's tripling that price. You want to think about what your overhead is. You want to make sure that you have insurance. Also, if you need extra help labor, I often would use a local what's the word I want? A temp agency to bring people in with me. Labor, $50 to $200 an hour. What you want to keep in mind is what can you accomplish in an hour? My husband and I were talking about that today. I am a whirling dervish. My husband is very slow and methodical. And we both get things done, but I pack a lot more in an hour than he does. It's just his nature. It's the way he works. And so really analyze when you start thinking about what do I charge an hour, it is not as much about what you charge an hour, but what you produce. If you're new at this, then your hourly fee needs to be lower because you can't penalize your client for your learning curve. These busy months, you can easily bring in 4 to 5 figures easily. It's a great add-on to your existing design and staging business, or a great launching pad to a design or staging business. So think of seasonal decorating as a concentrated income.
And
And
this
let me
is
just throw in one more point. I want to be fast so that we keep our time short here. But the other thing I want you to think is you're not done in December. Offer the service of packing everything up. And that also is a good money maker.
And don't be shy about putting this price tag on yourself, because this is an industry standard. We've had students go, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm ready to charge $100 an hour. And depending on where you are and your expertise, but we didn't just come up with these numbers. This is very legitimate industry standard numbers. And with, again, throw in a certification, you are worthy now of a higher, if you're charging by the hour rate.
So who can do this? Anybody that loves making things look beautiful. So if you're a decorator or a stager, this is a great niche service. Event planners, florists. If you're just a DIYer that would like to make some extra money for the holidays, this is a great service. If you're a DIYer and just want to add this service, make sure you still have done it officially. Make sure that you have insurance. I can't stress that enough.
Oh, okay. I think we just lost JoAnne. I will take it from there. Well, I'll throw in too, just to reinforce what JoAnne was saying. There are 2 ladies who show up at our club, and they decorate these huge trees. And we have several of them in this clubhouse, and that is exactly what they do. That's all they do all year long. They gather inventory for this project, and they spend their energy, and they make a great little check during that time. But they kind of carved out what time they want to focus and how much time they want to allot to it, and that's what they do. So that's the other beauty of this. You can focus and on whatever season, all seasons, how much money you want to make. You want to just get your feet wet. So keep in mind, it can be for anybody. So here is one of the trends. Okay, well, and I did not plan, well, I'm just gonna say I did plan this, but this pinkmas, I mean, pink is hot this year. Um, and we love pink. Pink is one of favorite colors all the way around, but you're gonna see a lot of retail ornaments, decor that you're gonna be able to implement. But just take a second and look at 2 things that are really jumping out at me. First of all, the incredible density of the decor that is placed on this tree, and some combinations that you wouldn't necessarily put together, but they work because that color is being mixed throughout this tree. And even with this gorgeous pink, look at the shape, this unexpected twirl that we have going through this white iridescent type Christmas tree. So pink is really hot. Now, remember when I was talking about the red and green? It may be your client is loving this green versus that traditional kind of hunter green. Just pink everywhere. Pinkman's for a reason. And Amazon is really truly our friend. I mean, I've said it 100 times. When COVID hit and we had supply chain issues, Amazon, we could get now just pretty much anything we could possibly need and get it quickly. So we do have a lot of things at our fingertips. So don't kind of delay if you want to take this class or start decorating for the seasons, thinking that, oh, I don't have time to go to market. I don't have the budget for a big inventory. Because keep in mind, your client is paying for this inventory that is going on that tree or wherever you're using it. Okay, mix the budget with money. So people love these festive spaces. And we've talked about the lack of time. And I have clients and they're like, oh my gosh, I go into a home goods and I just want to break out in hives. That's not their thing, which is great for us because that's right in our wheelhouse and that's what we're talking about that we love. So being able to come up with some of these creative ideas. So let's just take a minute and look at, it's interesting, this kind of got bigger as we brought it up tonight. So here's some different types of pumpkins, not your typical, you know, pumpkin. We're not put a pumpkin in the middle of the table, but look at the different finishes. Even this decoupage that we've done, I love that. It's so easy with the Mod Podge. You don't even have to be, super creative with that. You can just slap on some Mod Podge. And this could just be simply a white pumpkin, and then you could separate the cocktail napkins and cut out the little flowers and put those in. Here's the crocheted pumpkin. Here's a hand painted. We've stepped it up. You can see down here in the bottom. So, and if you are creative or you are an artist, like I had one student and she was an amazing potter. She was so artistic with what she could do with clay. So if you are an artist by nature, think about how you can add a very specific and one of a kind detail for your clients. Businesses want customer friendly decor. Think about what you do inventory and you want to make wise decisions. You're not going to go invest all your inventory in pink, even though that's the trend right now, but you're going to make those wise decisions that what could be used in even different seasons. Specialty events. Think about those parties, those fundraisers. We do a fundraiser in Arizona where I live, and we have so much fun and exercise creativity with our theme every year. And it's not a big budget item. So we're very conscious of how much we spend because we want to, first of all, honor the budget because we know the majority of that's going to go to our charity, but you want to really stay very true to what your client gives you as the budget. If you look at their inventory and she's given you like $100 and she has nothing to work with, that's where you as the professional will take a minute and say, okay, Mary, I know you want this tree to look like this photo that you have, pinned and that I've looked at. We're going to need a few items to be able to get close to that. And then you can give her an idea of what those items are going to cost. And sometimes people crave the look but don't have the bandwidth to do it themselves or the budget. That's the other beauty about having inventory that you have started to build over the years because let's say you have a series of, let's say 24 of these one of a kind Christmas balls. But by the time you may use those in 3 houses, the first one you paid for, but by the time you've kept these in circulation looking very different because you don't want to be known as the person who used these one of a kind, whatever it might be. So you want to be really conscious about what you select, what inventory, because you get to make money off of what you bring into that project every time it goes into a different house. So we love dupes. So these are a couple that JoAnne has found. In fact, I just saw these also at Pottery Barn. Hobby Lobby has a version of these, but if you can see this price right here, these are $138.50. $9.50. Walmart has a pair. They weren't three, they were a pair. Same concept. Iron reindeer. Here's another set over here. And I don't have an Aldi's near me, but JoAnne has one near her. But you can identify that trend and be able to find a dupe for it. And let me tell you, your clients are going to love you. Like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. And guess what, Mary? This only costs, $15. Okay, you're back here. Do you want to, let me go back one for you. I was just telling them about this awesome dupe.
Yeah, it's amazing. And who would think Aldi's and also Walmart was carrying this dupe too. So pay attention to what seems to be trending out there and then take the time to look around and find some duperoonies, as they call it. I apologize. My computer thought it was time to update.
Hey, listen, that's great. Well, okay, so let's take a minute, and I can't wait to give a shout out to Rosanne. She is one of the seasonal decorating students. I'm going to take 1 second and plug this because if you have not entered the Decorating and Staging Academy contest, there's a page on our website that tells you all about it. There's a lot of different categories you can enter. She took the seasonal decorating class, and I am so proud of her. She didn't waste a minute. She put her trees in here and she won. And as you can see, she is not a minimalist, if I could get that word out, but she created two gorgeous um, jam-packed full trees. So beautiful. And you can see why she won. But a fun theme right here. We've got the Grinch hiding in the tree. We got him down here. Um, but she was very true to her budget. She listed exactly what she spent on these trees. And one of them was for her for sure. And they may have been a project, like JoAnne said. If you don't have a client yet, but you want to, send in or enter or, start this as a business, practice on yourself. And I'm telling you, she has got it mastered.
Mhm.
So she won the national contest. And so now she gets this bragging right that she is a national award winner for seasonal decorating. So shout out to Rosanne. Okay, 1 second, I've got this in the way.
Sandra, I wanted to just say too, when on her tree there, one thing that I have done, talking about dupes and saving money and mixing budget along with cost, I've done the styrofoam balls or the clear acrylic bulbs and used tissue paper or napkins and decoupaged them. I did a black and white tree that I had the black and white polka dots, I had stripes, and I had like a harlequin pattern, but I just decoupage. I used Mod Podge, watered down Elmer's glue actually,
Mhm.
and just use the napkins, peel the napkins apart, use the printed layer. And so it was a way for me to get that designer look without a designer price tag. But there again, you have to decide. I've always been a very hands-on person. Again, you decide what you are willing or want to do.
That's a great point. I'm glad we did come back because you see her signs right here.
Uh-huh.
2 years ago, I went to the Dollar Tree and they were actually the ones that had the big stake and that you would put in the yard. I just broke that off and they went into my tree and they were literally probably about this big. So I had them placed strategically in there. And not only that, they filled up a lot of the space too. So
Yeah.
we love this. This is just an example, a kind of a contrast of a lot going on in Rosanne's trees to a very simple tablescape, but still gorgeous with the layers, the blessed, her different thankful napkin rings that she's got in here. I just love the simplicity of this.
Sandra, let me just take a moment. So I hope that helped to answer your question.
Yeah, this is through Zoom, just so you know, and you have to sign up for this. We can't add you to this. So this is something, but you'll get a reminder and you can actually remove yourself too, but you get a reminder every month so you don't have to sign up. Um, okay, here's just another option. A simple tablescape that is love. We've got different heights, we've got texture, we've got different shapes, layering, elements. It's just a really pretty, and this one
And
may,
I
I
love as you look at the, yeah, I love as you look at this, whether you're doing seasonal design, event decor, or everyday decorating, just keep in mind some of those design principles. Here we have high on the left, low on the right, so it keeps the eye moving around the space. If you were doing a holiday decorating, then you could use pretty much all of those elements and but just change out the botanicals that are in there, and maybe even swap out the lampshade for something that felt more seasonal. So much of seasonal decorating when you're working for clients is using what they have, but just taking it to a new level.
exactly. So this inspiration, here we are, just things that we want to inspire you with. So this is a picture that I took at market. I thought this was so creative. We have that festive feel. We've seen the bodice that's decorated as the tree, the skirt is the branches, and but this I thought was so creative for even a marketing idea. You could take, if I could get my little cursor where these were hand soaps, I mean hand lotions that you could take, and they were little giveaways that, and they replaced them throughout market. But I just thought they were so, it was a cute way to do something different. And
If you, yeah, I'm sorry, if you were doing a corporate event or decorating for an office, what a fun way for people that would, their customers coming in and out could take a little a thank you, a gift with them. It's adorable.
I thought that was cute. In the middle is, I just took one snippet here of, this was a holiday gathering. This was the a martini tree, different appetizers you that we could put in here, and some I may be covering up some of it. We just tied a little bow. I used it for another event, a Barbie event where we were hosting a progressive dinner, and I put shrimp and grits in each little martini glass. But just that height and the difference in those height, and just sticking the little Christmas trees right here on the signage, just kind of different things. And then on the right, this is when I did live on the intercoastal. This was, I think I paid $1 for it at a yard sale, which my family thought I had lost my mind. And I will admit it did look pretty scrawny and rough. So I just made, I put this in the little cabana bath, powder bath, and this was some pink coral filler pieces. And then I had some seahorses and a little octopus. And then the what held the tree was a lobster cage. So just different little ideas. So one extreme versus the other. This is a very layered, beautiful tree, kept with that color story. There's a lot to look at and to hold your interest. And again, just making your eye move through. And then on the right, I just thought I would throw this in because this was a baby shower that we did, and the theme was Baby, It's Cold Outside. And the tree was decorated with, it had the pre-lit, and it had some of that ribbon, you know, that we've all had forever. But the ornaments and the decoration, this was a loofah, and this was part of the giveaway for the attendees. And then every, let's see, there's a little organza bag with some Aveda shampoo or lotion and a little note. So the majority of this tree is decorated with a takeaway, a thank you for coming to the gift, to the party. Just a picture of,
You didn't tell us about, you didn't tell us about your little face standing by the door there, Sandra.
oh, okay. Well, I was probably trying to forget that. So as much as, you know, I don't necessarily like doing videos, I did make myself stop and do one because it is for educational purposes, anything that might inspire you versus just the typical baby shower. So I did take a minute, and it was really short and sweet. Did it in 2 takes. I don't try and make it perfect, but just to give some insights. Hey, we're about to go into this baby shower. The theme is baby, it's cold outside, and follow me in to get some ideas to how to do a themed baby shower. And so then I showed how the table was decorated. I actually talked about what we ate, things like that. So it was short and sweet. This is just for market. I thought this was so creative. It's a mantle. It is, if you look back, there's not a ton of elements in the garland per se, but when you throw in those unexpected decorating items, and of course they are showcasing some of the things they're selling in the showroom. This I'm pretty sure was K&K, and if you're getting into seasonal decorating, you want to know K&K because they have, first of all, a lot of showrooms, big ideas in there, and they always have something that you will say, oh my gosh, I love that. What client can I use that idea with? So,
Okay, Lisa,
yeah.
here it is, Lisa. So, yes, we hope you enjoyed tonight's, but if you are interested in taking your talent to a new level, please consider taking this seasonal decorating class. You'll learn a variety of systems, you'll get inspiration, you'll learn how to price and package, you will submit a variety of projects, which Sandra and I will critique and help you to be the best that you can be. We have a variety of templates and checklists. So if you want to take it to a next level and you want a little more help, this course is a great way for you to go. So you can use your phone and hit the QR code on the screen. Or you can see the code is there. And we don't always have something to sell when we do the design boardroom, but we thought this was the time of year and we'd noticed that there was a upswing in people that have been buying the class. So we wanted to remind you that it was out there. Please, if you have any questions, Sandra, I want to just take a moment. I was looking at some of the people that are on there. And first of all, hello to my dear friend Margie. It's so sweet to see you here. And Renee Klemenok, that is such a blast from the past. Renee and I were hanging out in the same circles 20 some years ago, and delighted to see you here, as well as all of the rest of you as well. But it's always nice when Sandra and I see people that we've been sharing with, or they've been sharing with us for all these years, and we still have some things to bring to the table. And we hope each of you got some ideas or some inspiration tonight. Any questions? Anybody? Type it in.
And there's our contact information if you want to email us or call us. You know, our goal is, like we said, to throw out some inspiration. If you want certification or just more on a different topic that we offer, or if you just want to ask us some questions. So um, we love doing this. So next month, it'll be, well, kind of still be this month because we had to delay 1 week, but it'll be October 28th at 6:30, a little bit of a time change.